Now, your other work is it's more commercial.
Yes.
And we've worked together on some projects, and it's been it's so inspiring because I've seen you come from one facet, and I've seen you evolve as an artist throughout time. And it's so rewarding to me as an artist or as an art director, as a friend, to see all of the accomplishments that you've done. And I want to talk a little bit, let's talk about this piece behind me. And this piece behind me is really amazing. And you just brought it back. It was, you go ahead and tell me what happened with this piece, because I want our viewers to hear the story about this piece. It's been through a journey.
Yes, it has. This piece was actually in a gallery in New York on display. And
what was the name of the gallery?
Vanderplas. And he was a very nice gentleman to work with. And I sent the piece over, and I received an email congratulating me that my piece had sold. And I was very, very happy. But
what is the name of the piece?
That one's called Blue.
Blue.
Blue. Okay. So later on, Mr. Vanderplas let me know that the man that purchased the painting was going to pay in 3 payments. And I said, no problem. So he sends me the first payment, and then we didn't hear anything from the man that had purchased the painting. And I contacted Mr. Vanderplas, and he let me know that apparently the man became very ill and was in the hospital. We no longer heard from the gentleman, unfortunately. I hope he's okay. But I did make an agreement with Mr. Vanderplas that I would not sell the painting for 6 months. And 6 months expired now in June. So here it is.
You know, as artists, we experience so many different things, and there are so many variables, things that we never really even think about that can happen, and they come and they happen, and it's and you just kind of deal with it. I've had, in the 21 years that I've had the gallery, I've had several times that people come in and make deposits on works, and then they just never come back and they never pick up, or I've had a lot of other different situations. But that's something that's very unfortunate, because you really, even though you try to contact the person, if you know life happens. You know, life happens. So now that painting has a provenance, because it's already been into New York Gallery, and it's already been purchased, and it's back in your hands, and it's up for grabs, everybody. So if you want to do a deposit on Blue, or make a payment on Blue, definitely contact us here at Art Fusion Galleries. So I want to talk a little bit about our experience together, how we met. How did we meet? Do you remember? I remember.
You share it. You're better at this than I am.
Well, I remember I was sitting in the gallery, and normally, when any artist comes to the gallery, I don't like to. I'm usually very, very busy, so I don't like to take artists that walk in from the street and show me their works, because I can spend all day doing that. So there's a submission process that I go through, and I want to let all the artists that are viewing us now that in any gallery, not only mine, there is a submission process. But Alia came in, and you know, in life there are circumstances, there are just different things. And when she came in, she was like, she was with her husband, and her husband's like the tough, you know, like, you got to get in there and you got to show them, and your work is good. And so you had, I think that he told me, or you told me, I can't remember, that you had been looking around at other galleries, and your husband said, no, you're not leaving your artwork there. You need to go to this other place. Anyway, you walked in. You know, it was like an angel had walked into my gallery. So it's true. Your aura and your persona is amazing, and I thought, you know what, I have 5 minutes. Let me. You look like almost distraught. If I wasn't going to pay attention to you, I couldn't do that to you. So we went to your car.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I took a look at your paintings, I just fell in love. And
I have to tell you, I'm so sorry. Those 5 minutes that you took to look at my work changed my life. So thank you.
Well, you know, it changed my life too, because you know, you have a beautiful installation here, and you've gone through so much in such little time. You've actually soared in mega time. You know, it's like mega time for me. When we met, we started representing you. I think that you had your first exhibition at the William Braemer Fine Arts
Yes,
Gallery, right?
yes.
And that was in a month of July, okay. And it was very successful. We had a packed house, and it was so exciting for me to see you and how excited you were, because every artist, the biggest thing for an artist is to be able to show their art.
Yes.
And when you have a lot of new eyes to see your works, and you have a place to exhibit your works, it doesn't get any better. Well, it gets better when people buy your works.
Yes.
But yeah, but I mean, the reality is that the purchase is a cherry on the cake, but the party is a big part of it, having people see your works. So tell me, that happened in July, and then what happened?
Oh my
Immediately, what
goodness.
happened after that? Tell our viewers what happened after that.
I will gladly tell them how meeting William Braemer changed my life. Yes, we had the exhibition in July, and then shortly after, I was fortunate enough to have my paintings displayed in Florence, Italy, and in Monaco. And
it was at the Basilico San Lorenzo.
Yes.
And it's the Basilico San Lorenzo, of course, is where they buried Donatello. And there's a staircase by Michelangelo there.
Yes.
And it was the first time in history, in Florence history, that a contemporary modern art exhibit was featured in the Basilico San Lorenzo. We had press from all over the world. We had press from Italy. And thankfully, it wasn't me that did that. Actually, Vito Abba, my colleague and our very good friend from Abba Fine Arts in Florence, was the one that facilitated the exhibition at the Basilico San Lorenzo. And we just had a really great time. It was a shame you didn't go.
I didn't get to
go.
go.
But your babies went, because
Yes,
your paintings were there, and they got a lot of press. And then they went off to Monaco.
Yes.
And we had a fabulous exhibition in Monaco at the Gremlock, I believe. And so now there's things going on in the future. But wait a minute, later on after that, we did a big collaboration.
Yeah.
And that was with Rogers Behavioral, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that experience. When I called you, tell us how that worked out.
Well, you called me to help you with the project for Rogers, which was a mental health facility.
That's correct.
And it was, you asked me to do the part of the hospital for the children. And that was something that I could really relate to, being a former kindergarten teacher. And I have to tell you that was such a special project for me, because it really hit home.
There was about 40 paintings that you did, correct?
Yeah. Well, 30 for one, and then 38 for the next one.
That's right.
So,
we did two, because the Doral Rogers Behavioral, they were so happy with our work that they commissioned us to do a second location in Woodbury, Minnesota.
Yes.
And that was a challenge.
But we did it.
But we
did
did
it.